Afternoon, Madame la Présidente. In 2015, your predecessor went to very great lengths to assure us that multi-trillion bond purchases were not monetary financing and that the ECB's purchases were merely temporary. The German Federal Constitutional Court subsequently took up that point and stated very clearly that if ever bond purchases became permanent, there would be a clear proof that the ECB is engaging in monetary state financing. Now, on November 9th, your chief economist, Philip Lane, announced the ECB thought that, quote, a durable level of central bank reserves was required and, I'm still quoting, that a structural bond portfolio was most suitable as this would provide longer-term liquidity to the banking system. In other words, a portfolio would permanently include APP and PEP purchases. So, was Mr. Draghi not altogether honest all along, or can you assure us that contrary to Mr. Lane's musings, you will eventually liquidate all bond holdings? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beck. And I tell you something, I would be remiss to pass any kind of final judgment and to give you final consideration as to how these reserves will be constituted. As you probably know, given the pertinence of your question, we are undergoing a review of what we call the operational framework, which is the way in which we try to monitor interest rate, the way in which we provide liquidity to banks. And this is an extremely complicated matter where we have to study in depth many consequences of the various options, which include financing, refinancing, which include structural portfolio, which includes the volume of liquidity that is necessary and the way in which banks will access that liquidity. It's a complicated matter which will give rise to multiple trade-offs review. And we are in the middle of this work. So this is very much work in progress. There will be many views expressed in the next few months. There will be in-depth examination of options, and it will be for the Governing Council at the end of the day to actually determine what will be the operational framework. It may well include several components. That is a possibility. What I can imagine is that it will produce a balance sheet, the size of which will be definitely smaller than the peak that we have observed in the last couple of years. And where I would imagine it will also be higher than what it was before the great financial crisis. I think the third observation that I would make is that even when the Governing Council of the ECB has made its decision on the basis of, as I said, multiple observations and opinions, when it does so, there will be experimentation because of the highly sophisticated nature of this operational framework. But, we will do that, taking the appropriate time to review all the options. The one that you have mentioned is certainly a very informed consideration, but there will be more, and the ultimate decision will belong to the Governing Council of the ECB. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have no further requests for the floor, so we can thank President Lagarde for her availability as usual, and also I take the opportunity to highlight that the next and also last monetary dialogue of this legislative term is expected to take place on February 24. And this will happen just after the 25th anniversary of the introduction of the euro, which took place on the 1st of January 1999. In this context, the Econ Committee coordinators have decided to focus on one topic, euro at 25, what's next for the EMU. Which will allow to take stock of the first 25 years of the common currency while assessing future challenges for the economic and monetary union. So thank you very much. We will meet again in February. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.